everyone. Welcome to the awesome Exiles Podcast. You've got me, Core. We're got podcast. Oh damn it! Got me, Core. We're got. Sorry about that. My stream audio decided to play in my head. Yeah, you've got me, Core. You can find me on here or on YouTube. Awesome.
And I'm Linda Irwin from Awesome Insanity Surfers. I'm on Spreaker and YouTube under that name. Also find me on Twitter at Insanity Surfers and Continuum X.
Spider, you want to hit it?
I am Spider Fan, the official NFL analyst for Sports Coast to Coast. You can find my writings at sportscoasttocoast.proboards.com. I just recently started a new thread, the 2021 NFL free agency thread, where I am posting my various thoughts on the signings that are currently happening as free agency in the National Football League has just started. So I've got the thread there. You can, as I said, you can find my thoughts, and it's a great site, great people as well. So it's that's who I am and what I'm doing. And also, although I should say, I'm also, even though I haven't posted there in a little bit, I'm also on bitview.net. I'm a Spider Fan, and I need to get back to posting some content on there. I finally got my video text-to-speech software and whatnot going back up, so I should have some content going up on there pretty soon as well.
And we've also got a guest with us today, introducing SKS 2000. You want to introduce yourself, mate?
Hi, I am SKS 2002. I am a musician from the UK. I also moderate alt vid sites like Trackle, Vlare when that comes out. I don't know when it's coming out. Sometime I don't know. It's coming out when it's finished, when it's ready. And I even moderate the cesspool, which is also known as Vidly, but it's their Discord, the rewrite Discord, which is less than a cesspool, which is good. So thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, as you slowly poke the bear with a stick.
Yes.
But yeah, so tonight's show, we're going to be discussing music and its relation to content creation, both from the perspective of using it to enhance and change your content, or creating music itself. Who wants to begin?
I suppose I can start.
I guess that makes a good spot, considering you were in two bands and make your own music.
Yes, and I also have albums made, but I started officially into music in 1986. I was with Critical Fold. We started out with doing comedy, which would have made good videos, but that's okay. We just didn't have the budget to hire people and costumes and wardrobe and sets and all of that. So it stayed audio only. But fast forward to the 90s, where I started writing my own solo music. And I thought about putting that on an animated CGI type video. One night afterwards, well, it was after work in the TV station, I went around and played with their computer that had Lightwave 3D on it. Now, guess what? 5 minutes worth of video takes overnight to render. And that was back in 97, I believe. And I said, forget that. We'll just leave that audio. Fast forward now to YouTube. So I have different things that I create on there. Some of it's comedy, some of it's serious, some of it's educational, and some of it's even for commission. Like with, for example, Nat Geo Wild. I actually edited, created music, and did opening narration for one of their 2015 PSAs called Rally the Herd, which brought attention to the elephant population and how they were being killed through poisoning, through traps that they couldn't get free from, and for hunting. And I wrote a song for that called Rally the Herd, which I have since also used in other things like some of my Spreaker shows and even videos. You have to kind of go with whatever the mood is that you're doing, kind of have to feel what it is. This was sort of a sad song, so it starts out very sad and starts to build a little bit dramatically as it goes. And that gets to the end with the message with the PSA card that shows up at the end telling people what it is and where they could go online. And then you kind of ended up with a big finish finale, but a little bit subtle because we are talking about the elephant herds and what's going on with them. That's an example of how I came up with that song. I also love to do things that are spooky. In fact, I wrote several songs for Apparitions Paranormal, which was a ghost hunting show down in Boise that is no longer there. And it was background music to their hunting and what they were finding. And again, it was just a matter of feeling what it is. But I was able to continue to use those songs later on in other things. So the music is never wasted. I mean, you write it for one thing and you turns out you can have it somewhere else. And I've written a lot of the things for Awesome Insanity Surfers on Spreaker too, our comedy, our spoofs and things like that. And what I've done with that is also kept that according to what the segment was. One of the segments we had was called Myth Manglers. And I wrote something that was kind of like you would see for an adventure reality show. And another one that I did was for Full Ball Astrology, which kind of sounds like your new wavy type intro for a metaphysical show. Just little things like that. Space Case had this really out there sort of sci-fi sounding thing that I had written to that. It's a lot of fun, pushing yourself to stretch yourself to find different ways to express yourself with the music to match with what you're doing. And while I have my 95 and 96 albums I can draw from as well, the newer stuff seems to fit the bill the best for me. SKS, how about you?
I started off writing music back in 2014. I started off using it sounds weird, but a PS Vita, and I had this Beats Trilist app, which I bought for like £2 on the PlayStation, what's it called? PlayStation Network thingy back in 2014, and I had this one track which I called I Can Hear You. That wasn't released until probably until like I released the expanded version of Dark Assault back in 2018, 2019. Freaking out. This is going back. I'm already losing it, don't worry. But I also like released albums. Like I got two, which I released. You got the Raver's Land album, which was originally released on SoundCloud back in 2017, and then like released as like my fifth 5 years of like making music back here 2020, which is I actually released it on the day where I released my first EP, which was Mind Blowing, which I would not recommend you to listen to. Raver's Land, it's terrible to say the least. And after that, moved on and I started off writing Direct Assault, which was using GarageBand for iOS actually, and the best synth I ever used. It's like my baby of a synth. It's called Poison 202. It's made by someone who actually done like old school like Prodigy reworks on Ableton. I think he's called Jim Pavlov. Yeah, I've spoken to him and since, which is quite cool. And yeah, that was released, which got some people liking it. Like I can't really like say much like Josh to Josher, which yeah, and I got people which hated it, like my mate Modern. No hard feelings. I think the album has aged terribly. And I got my third album, which is probably coming out this year, but I'm still waiting on that to be mastered by my mate Oliver, otherwise known as Knight, which is a YouTube pooper. And yeah, like it's going very smoothly. I would say that I have released an EP this year actually, but under an alias. I'm not gonna say names or anything, but the best way I can say it has a green background and blue text. Okay, there we go.
Have you ever noticed that it's our closest mates are the ones that don't like what we do? I
Yeah.
found that out. Yeah, my husband, he's now crossed over, but yeah, he would just roll his eyes, shake his head, and really didn't want to hear it. If I wanted to put a CD in of something I had done, he's like, no, let's put on AC/DC instead.
I remember like when I was this is quite funny. I remember I was like in the music department and like every single day I would like do like raves in the music department, so you just hear like 90s breakbeat music just blasting out. It'd just be like so freaking loud. The freaking teachers come in and they look and oh, he's just playing his music. And then you get like all the students freaking going in there like having like it's like it becomes like a rave. And then you get like the teacher like breaking in, it's like, what the hell is happening? It's like he just walked in, and that's okay. And they just tell everyone to get out and send them to like isolation and all that. It's quite funny. Yeah.
Spider?
Well, as far as music in my content, I'm trying to remember the first time I would have used music in my content. I think that would have been 2014. Actually, it would have been not too long after I started on Zipcast. Back then, I created a intro, which was something that I had never done at that point because I had just started doing my my old content, my Web of Vlogs series, which originally did not have any music or intro of any kind, and then in August of 2014, if I remember correctly, that's when it would have been. I decided to create an intro. Basically, I just took a few episodes of Web of Vlogs that I had, kind of chopped it up with Windows Movie Maker, and then added various effects and things and text on the screen and stuff. It actually was at least decently done considering the software that I had, and the music that I ended up using was a track from Earthworm Jim 2, Subterranean. I used some of that in the intro, and basically that was for a long time the only music that I had in any of my videos. And then for Sports Coast to Coast, years after I was on Zipcast, and when I fully transitioned into doing stuff for Sports Coast to Coast, and when I was posting content on VidMe, may that site rest in peace, I started to use music for my Red Hot Gridiron news series, and the music that I was using in that was very much like news kind of music. I used different ESPN tracks that had been used on the old NFL primetime show, and I used a track that was from that ended up being a royalty-free track, but I picked out because it sounded like kind of NFL Films music. If you've ever watched any NFL Films products, there's this very sort of epic, sort of orchestral sounding music, and because I was discussing NFL news, I thought that would fit. But ultimately, I came to realize that having the right music to fit with the video and royalty-free music, using that and getting the sound levels right was difficult, and I personally found it unnecessary, and it didn't add much to my content. So after I stopped doing Red Hot Gridiron and transitioned into the columns and transitioned into my more podcast style content as opposed to my vlog style content, at that point I wasn't doing an intro, and I didn't have any music in my videos at that point. And like BitView now, don't use any music. So that would be my experience using music in content creation.
Also, hey, Ali just joined us. How you doing today, Ali?
Hello, my lovelies. I heard there was a party going around here, and no one invited me. Why, goddammit?
I invited you. Hey, I invited him.
I did say. Oh, sorry.
Ali, I got timestamps saying it's 7:42 of you asking what's the subject tonight. You had your
Oh,
invite.
I also said
I thought it was 8 p.m. EST, but no, today was 7 p.m. EST.
Oh yeah, sorry. Daylight savings time just rolled over, so now it's EDT. I hate that system.
freaking daylight
Me
saving
too.
time. It gets on my nerves.
I'm still not caught up with the time change.
Yeah, it messes with me. But
Yeah, it's terrible.
yeah. You got anything you want to add before I say my part?
I don't know. I would say like yeah. I said would it be cool for like Alison to join this thing, and it's actually quite cool that you joined. So welcome, Alison.
Yeah, just warning. I'm not really a music expert, so I probably won't be contributing much today.
It's absolutely fine. You can talk about what kind of music you like and all that.
Not to mention, it is somewhat relevant to discuss, say, music bots or even the DCMA system, given that's one of the biggest problems facing content creators in the use of music nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of sites that have just instead of the old somebody gets reported, they they take the music down. No, every site nowadays feels like they're running on bots, and bots just keep taking channels down left and right without really analyzing the context behind of what's going on.
Something kind of similar happened to my mate, Knight, who is a YouTuber and a musician. And what happened was he got his Twitter like link his tweet took down, and it said like his tweet was taken down because it was using his own music on it. I gotta try and find the tweet 1 second.
Oh, that is funny. Just getting your own content copyright created against copyright striked against you. That's gotta.
It's happened to me.
That's-
It happened to me when I released all my music once. It's not great. I have to like say to him, I own this content.
Yeah.
A lot of my newer stuff gets hit sometimes. I don't know why. It must sound similar to somebody else's somewhere and they're just confused or something.
Well, they are bots, so that wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
I'm still trying to find it.
But
I
yes.
think you probably deleted it.
But yeah, my relation with music and content creation, it's a little different. I typically use it either to set the mood for like my guides, or more relevantly, because I do reviews. The soundtrack is really important for my reviews. I tend to use it also for backing music, but it's also because a good soundtrack can make or break a game, especially in the horror genre. That's one thing I've noticed in a lot of newer horror games, is a lot of them are missing that soundtrack element. Like, they try to go for that subtle, subdued element.
Yeah, horror games nowadays are all about ambient sound instead of music.
Yeah, I think something like Fallout probably done that because, and again, if you think about it, Fallout was known to copy like an Aphex Twin track as well. You know, it's on. I think there's someone which is like a comparison, and it's just uncanny. I think I got find the link to that actually. 1 second. Fallout. Aphex.
Yeah, we probably won't play it on the stream just because Twitch has gotten really bad with their DCMA strikes, or DMCA strikes.
Be honest, if someone sneezes, they'll probably throw in a DMCA strike.
Actually, what's funny is the Metallica was doing a live stream of them performing a few weeks ago. It got auto muted and replaced with like fantasy music or jazz or something.
Oh no.
It's like playing freaking Scooter over the freaking Prodigy.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but it's like, this is how far DMCA has gone, to the point that actual bands are getting their stuff taken down because they Autobot flags them. Maybe the Decepticons were right.
Yeah, I still think they need to rewrite DMCA. I'm absolutely fine for people to use my music, but the problem is that anything which is from Direct Assault back to my first releases, it's Root Note for some reason takes down everything. I hate freaking Root Note, and that's the reason why I moved to Repost from SoundCloud.
I've actually given some of my music over to Creative Commons sites, and I don't know if people using that are getting hit with anything. I hope not, but it is free for commercial use, and I provide it to those sites for people to use.
I would be pissed if like some freaking idiot just uploaded it saying it's their own song and just getting money and content ID and everyone. I'll just be angry. If it's like something like my own songs, and if they'd done that, I would not be happy. It's like the musician's worst nightmare when that happens.
Oh yeah, no one likes a content thief.
Yeah.
And that brings me up to another point. One of the biggest problems facing alternative sites is the other lovely music bots that just love to upload every copyrighted song they can.
They get banned within seconds on Trackle.
Yeah, which is good, but a lot more sites need to take a more heavy-handed approach to that.
Yeah, I hate when people like re-upload music, but then again, I can't say much because when I was like 15, I freaking recreated the Prodigy's like YouTube channel onto Vidly, but I was a stupid dumbass back then.
I'm a fire starter.
Twisted fire starter. It's kind of a shame that Keith Lynn passed away though. It hit on the worst time possible. I was doing my GCSEs when it happened. It was not a great time to have that happening.
Well, remember, We Knew? That place was full of music bots.
Yeah. I actually wish Crash was here because he would have a lot to say on that topic.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, this will shock every one of you, We Knew was the first vid site I actually joined.
Wiener was actually the second one I joined. The first one was Zipcast, and Zipcast was also full of music bots.
I've never touched Zipcast at all because by the time I went into the community, I was 14. I think I was 14 because I remember joining when I was 13. I think it was around. Well, actually no, I was 13 in 2015. I think and I joined Discord at 14, and then I joined the Roblox community. It's quite weird how it all started. How I found this community I know and have a Marmite relationship with, to say the least. It's kind of a strange story how I found the Altvid community. Quite bizarre.
I don't really know why these alt sites, these alt video sharing websites always attract these music bots, because even Vidly, which is not really known for the music bots, Vidly also had some of them. Ironically, it was some of the people from Winu, and back when I was still moderating Vidly, I went there and I asked them, "Can you please take this down? It's copyrighted content." And the music bot just lashed out at me. You don't like me, then you just block me, asshole. And then I banned them.
Yeah, I remember I reported them pretty often.
It's breaking the terms of service. To be honest, if they know that they're breaking the terms of service, they deserve the ban.
Not
yeah.
Not to mention. Sorry.
Yeah, I try to be polite with them because I knew them from Winu. I try to be polite, like, hey, can you please not upload this kind of stuff here? And they went straight to jerk on me, like,
They just bite you
hey,
off the head.
yeah, if you don't like it, then just block me. And then they block me, like that would help them.
Not to
They-
mention, the other issue is too much copyrighted content going unchecked leads to DMCA strikes, which could get our platform knocked off the web. So,
Yes.
Yeah, that's how YouTube. That's how YouTube. That's what kickstarted YouTube's downfall. They either had to they either had to sign a contract with big companies promising that they would give him full power to take out every single copyrighted content, or they would shut the website down. And that's kind of what's kickstarted the YouTube downfall.
It's to be honest, I when I moderate, I just show no nonsense. If they're breaking a rule, they're out.
Good.
Yeah, I don't like rule breakers. I like people which does time, but not rule breakers. I'm the best way I could say that I'm laid back but serious.
Well, even Crash would agree with this. Original content is king. You know, just putting up TV shows or movies or, music videos. Why? Why bother? I mean, what
hate it.
satisfaction do you get from it? Because it's not you putting you out there, it's you putting out something that already exists. How could
Yeah.
that make you really feel good?
because they
Yeah,
still get the, so, because there's always people in the comments like, "Thank you for uploading this song. I wanted to listen to it so badly. Thank you for uploading it." They they crave
Tune
the
into radio
validation.
station.
They
the
crave
best
the.
way I
tune-
Sorry,
sorry.
SKS.
The best way I could describe it is because they're getting like a high from it. Like, oh my god, I'm getting all these comments, views, and subscribes and all that. It's like the high to get like people saying, "Oh, thank you so much for uploading this. Could you please upload blah blah from blah blah?" And they'll be like, "Okay, sure, I'll upload this." But every time like someone uploads something like a copyrighted song or a copyrighted TV show or like which people would say, "Oh, it's lost media," it's absolutely fine to upload it on Vidly and Trackle. Still, it's breaking the law. Take it down. It's like I remember it's like actually it's a few weeks ago. I remember I was like moderating Trackle and someone uploaded Lost Media, freaking Tiny Tim having a heart attack, and I'm like, I got a freaking oh god! I just literally just deleted the video and banned the person straight away. He just said, "Oh, it's Lost Media. It's allowed. They can freaking upload people which are dying for Christ's sakes."
That's yeah, that's just kind of messed up.
Yeah. I hate when people like use the defense. Oh, it's lost media. It's public domain if it's lost. It's not lost media.
Mm-mm.
At the end of the day, there's probably some guy in I don't know, freaking Croydon who has the copyrights and they don't know it's being posted on the internet.
I'll have to see if I can find it, but there is a catalog of all copyrighted songs and when they were renewed and by who.
Yeah.
Something like that would obviously be important on when you're talking about lost media,
Yeah.
because
And
I
like
do think to some extent there should be like a lost media archive of some description, but obviously when you're talking about copyright, you would want to have that be as legal as possible.
yeah, the best way I would say, like, if you want to have it like send the lost media, is to send it on archive.org because that is, I know that place is like known as the haven of copyright, but then again, people use it as like the place to archive everything, which is good for them, but it's them going one step closer towards a freaking copyright suing law something. I don't know. I'm not like used to the US laws. I'm more British laws.
Yeah.
Then there's
Now,
royalty free.
does the UK? Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, does the UK have an equivalent of a DMCA? Because that is very much a US thing.
We do have something like a copyright law. Like if someone unfairly like takes your video, like I think it happened with Tom Scott before. He had like his video taken from someone in like the Philippines, and he got like to the copyright things in the UK and sent them like a letter stating like, yeah, this person copyrighted my video, and they get taken to small claims court basically, and then it goes like higher to the Crown Court. Basically, if it goes like they drag it out.
Well, then there's the royalty free and the licensed music. And I hear people all the time go, "Oh, well, I put that song by Epidemic Sound in one of my videos." And I said, "Did you pay for the subscription to license that?" No. Well, that might be why you got it flagged. You have to do things legally. I mean, it's great to have that. And there is public domain. That's perfectly okay too, and royalty free. But you have to make sure that it truly is. And going to reliable sites to do that is how you find out.
It's like you need. It's like if it's the same thing with like if you're gonna use photos or like fonts and all that. There's a copyright in everything, which is like in this world. It's like the microphone stand I'm using this freaking microphone on. That's probably got a patent somewhere in the offices in America. Yeah, it's quite
Now, I
surprising to
have a
think
question
like
for
everything
Core.
in your household, even probably the house, the copyright.
Well,
What?
what I was wanting to ask Core, being that you do reviews and whatnot, have you ever had to deal with any like copyright strikes due to like video game music?
I haven't had any strikes, but I have had copyright claims by, well, honestly, mostly Konami. Konami's really bad about it. Luckily, all they do is basically take the monetization of the video, but, like, Konami is really bad about it. Like, even if you're playing through the entire game, they're just like, oh, hey, this has one of our tracks in it. Copyright claim.
To be
I
honest,
see, and so other companies you haven't experienced that with as much.
There are some others that do that, but I can't think of any off the top of my head because I don't usually get. Most of the time, they don't usually copyright track their own just soundtracks.
Right.
Nintendo.
I was
Nintendo, yeah,
just
that's
curious.
the one.
yeah,
I was just
then-
curious because a lot of times, especially in the like retro gaming community and whatnot, a lot of just videos will have that kind of music in the background, the video tracks from various games. So I was curious to see if
Oh,
claims and strikes and things happen with that kind of stuff. Also,
there's one other. Oftentimes, whenever I play a Star Wars game, because you know they use the movie soundtracks and stuff, and the music is composed by John Williams, and so it gets flagged as the actual movies, and yeah, so it gets tricky there.
I remember hearing on like, well, I remember hearing like the Prodigy sampling you know, the line from Star Wars saying we're going in full throttle for the track. Well, surprisingly, full throttle. And they thought it was a track from they thought it was a sample originally from the Ultramagnetic MCs, but it was originally from Star Wars, and the Lucasfilms were not happy about that at the time, to say the least. And I think they turned and asked like Excel Recordings to take it off. So that's the reason why, if you listen to Full Throttle on the album release of Jitto Generation, the this is a smart way of this is like the quick and dirty way to like try and remove like a copyright is to like flip the sample, make it reverse basically. Yeah.
I've heard of people slowing things down and speeding them up and putting static over it to try to fool the bots too.
Yeah,
That kind of
again-
stopped working.
Again, this was like around 1993 when they released it with the One Love EP. Great EP, by the way. I like it because I remember that was like my first EP I brought on iTunes. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been honestly, yeah, music could be a real pain when it comes to content creation, especially in cases like, Leggy, who does animations to songs and such, and copyright claims could be pretty. Well, let's just say there's a reason why she mostly relies on Patreon now.
Yeah, they come out the ass basically for like people when they like use like their songs are like, oh, it's time for money. And it's like and then you end up getting your doors breaking down from the CEO of freaking money coming over to your house asking for 100% of your video, even though you probably used it for like 10 seconds.
Yep.
Greedy.
Yeah, the men in like their massive suits, which they brought it like Harrods for like 200 quid.
Marching in, we are the collection society to get the rights of all the people. Yeah, right. Go away.
They just walk in like they're freaking like high priced suits which they get in like Gucci and all that, and they just see like some like person just wearing like I don't know like a Slazenger pair of trousers and a normal like shirt from George from Asta, and yeah, I can imagine like the scene would just be like massive like freaking like businessmen, and they just see like this person which just looks like okay.
Then after
Well,
they get done
and
with
that's when.
then after they get
Sorry,
done taking your money, they raid your refrigerator.
And
Yeah,
that's
And that's when what I was gonna say is that's when fair use would come into play.
yeah.
Raid your fridge for your fridge raiders. I gotta try and find them. They're quite nice.
Yeah, so yeah,
And that whole conflict about that.
Yeah.
Usually we always think about that with movie footage or TV shows or even gaming, but you could also apply fair use and the difficulties with fair use in content creation to music as well.
Yeah, because the other issue is YouTube's unwilling to take a stand for its content creators and be like, okay, you are allowed to use, because within the copyright system, you are allowed to make fair use of things. As long as you properly go through the channels, which you're supposed to do, like accredit it, and like say if you took a sample off a song, as long as you credit it and stuff, you are usually supposed to be allowed to use things.
I remember
Right.
CC Mixter. They used to encourage people to download the music that was there and remix it, add stuff to it. I remember that from a long time ago. I wonder whatever happened to it.
Well, of course, what YouTube used to do, and I personally never experienced this, but this ended up coming into play last week. We talked about how you used to be able to pick audio tracks if there was some sort of copyright audio track that they would mess with and mute, that you could swap it out for something else, which is why a lot of YouTube videos from a certain time period, maybe
009 sound
2000
system.
Yeah, to like 2008 to like maybe 2012, maybe 2011. Why a lot of videos from that time period use that 007 sound system song.
I got it in my head now. Thank you very much.
I could hear it.
Electro Bodies Hit the Floor. For some reason, that was also one as well. That was like in every YouTube video.
Or
It's
Or
finger,
seemingly every YouTube video, I should say.
that or Finger 11's Paralyzer.
Or
Yeah.
let the bodies hit the floor.
Those were frequently used.
I will have to say that I'm glad that they did that with the audio library for later times, like more recent. Because I've gone in there and deliberately selected things to download to put to my art piece videos, which have no dialogue in them. They're just video and music. So it helps to be able to find stuff somewhere that you can get easily and not have to search all over for royalty free.
And I would agree with that. That's certainly a good thing.
Yeah, one thing which I find quite funny, I remember like seeing like these videos which people use for like Microsoft Photos, and there's like this one song which YouTube haven't sorted out for like copyright, and every time like someone uses that like one song for like their Microsoft Photos video thingy, it like uses like the copyright system, and it just looked like it would just contact match that song.
Yeah, I remember that too. Never use the samples off your Windows Media Player because you will get hit.
It's not even that. It's even modern day as well for the Microsoft Photos. Because I remember like I was watching like someone who done like this thing for like Microsoft Photos and all that. Like they done like this weird like video, and what happened was is that they used this one song and it just basically just took all the money out of that video, all because they used that one song for the Microsoft Photos video.
Yeah, that sort of stuff just gets really draconian, and they a lot of people. There's another thing that people like to use copyright the batter people over the head with is there's a lot of dirty developers out there who will falsely use these DMCA strikes to shut down or destroy channels that release negative critique and negative feedback of their products, be that
That
gaming, music, or whatever.
That happened recently with someone in the Altvid community. I think some of you might know. Yeah, it's mainly one person, which is an admin, and yeah, that happened all because of like they uploaded a part of their like live stream.
I think I know what you're talking about. We'll keep names out of it though.
Hmm I'm not
Oh,
gonna be like the person who drank like 2 pints of Guinness and then they just name bombed their wife who just left them.
but yeah, it's like there's a lot of people who try to falsely use these systems put in place to protect copyright holders to instead use them as a club and destroy other people's works. Or
Yeah, it's just so easy to do. It's really shameful on YouTube's part that it's that easy to use and be exploited.
yeah, I mean,
There was a video for our listeners. There's a video that you can actually look up
This
called
is the video, by the
Happy
way.
Tree
The
Friends
like
YouTube
Guinness.
copyright. And basically it's this cartoon short, and it actually goes through on how to copyright claim content, and it's surprisingly easy. You just like go down into the settings of a video, hit like copyright, and you just like, I won't even say fill out a form because that would be giving it too much credit. It's like you click a couple dots, like you're filling in a survey or something, very short, and then it's taken down. And of course, the thing is, then the video's either demonetized or taken down, or there's a strike against the channel. It's not good.
And then there's people that falsely say that you revealed something about them personally when you didn't. And they can get stuff taken down that way too if they don't like you.
but yeah, but it's like especially when people, it's like you publicly put this out there. All I did was put it to the forefront. It's not my fault you don't. Maybe you shouldn't share your dirty laundry and people wouldn't, call you out on it.
That's why I throw my own like washing in the washing machine.
Pretty much. It's like it's a big issue in certain subcultures, and like let's be honest, there's a lot of drama and stuff in like the furry community related to that sort of stuff, where they'll just call people out like mad.
I fancy some Wotsits. don't know why I randomly said that. I just fancy some Whatsits.
I don't even know what that is.
They're British Cheetos.
Oh,
They are made by the same company, by the way.
they just call them Whatsits.
They call them Whatsits, but we do also have Cheetos, but Cheetos are looked upon as like the budget version of Whatsits here.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's quite a massive following here in the UK. Whatsits, but Cheetos, the only way you can see them is like in department stores and like bargain bins at like Home Bargains, like 38p per packet.
I could just see having that name here. You go into the store and say, "Could I have some Whatsits?" And they look at you like, "What? Whatsits?" I know. I'm trying to figure out what it is you want. You know.
There was an advert made by Captain Sensible who made the cover of Happy Talk. Yeah, he actually wrote the song for the What's It advert. It's quite an interesting advert, by the way. It's really interesting. It's like all 3D animation. Then again, this was like back then when they were owned by Golden Wonder, but now they're owned by Walkers, which is owned by Pepsi.
That just reminds me of the candy bar called the Whatchamacallit. Who comes up with these names?
I remember Whatchamacallit. Yeah.
Imagine like just having like a pack. You get a drink of Surge. Surge. You got your packet of crisps, which is your Whatsits, and you got your chocolate bar, which is Whatchamacallit.
Oh, what are you having there? Whatsits? Whatchamacallit? Oh, well, do you know what the names of them are?
The names. Yeah, Whatsits. The best way I could say they basically taste a lot more like they're quite baked because instead of like them frying it, they like bake them in like the oven. It's quite nice.
All right.
Same thing with mini cheddars. I also like them.
I think we've gone off topic here again.
We ended up just talking about British crisps.
Now I wish I had a snack.
I could just walk to the kitchen and just grab a packet of crisps, but I'm having a strict diet of having Marmite on toast for lunch and whatever my mum gets me for tea.
That sounds like a
I'm
sad
having a
lunch.
nutrition shake.
Yeah, Marmite on toast. I love Marmite on toast. I'll have it with that and a packet of crisps. Mainly one of the bags. Like I would either get like a packet of like Walker's French fries or squares. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the topic of music. What's the next best element to cover?
Releasing music.
Sure. Why don't y'all walk us through how y'all like to go through the process of releasing music?
I release music when I know I'm completed with it or fed up with it. I start off like giving everyone like the first demo, like rough cut of the track on like the old sites like Vidly, Trackle, at the time by Anko for like 2 days, and Blair when that was a thing. Well, it is coming a thing again, hopefully, which is good. And then if I know people like it, I'll release the final version of the track onto the album, which I hope to get this album released this year in 2021. Yeah, my mate said that his deadline is this month to do all the mastering, but he has done most of the mastering for the album, which is good.
How about you, Linda?
I was going to say, as for me, mine's a little bit different. After I get the entire album done, I do let a couple of people I trust listen to it and see if they think it's okay. And if they like it, then yeah, I go ahead and produce it. I was sending it off to Randy Everett for mastering and for putting out on CDs and doing the cover art and everything. And I lost contact with him. So I bought one of those little things where you can make your own CD labels. And I started just designing my own labels to that. And I was selling them through different, well, it started with Blog Talk back in 2012. But then later I was doing it through Unseen World, which I was on with Sandra Green. And we were selling them over the internet. we could sell them off the website, or they could email me and purchase them that way. And I was doing really good. And then all of a sudden, CDs kind of lost favor. So I converted them all into manageable MP3s because the originals were on WAV file, and was selling them individually online through Twitter. Sometimes I'm not doing that anymore. Or Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore. And so right now I'm not actually selling anything. I'm just putting them out there to use with my video content or in my Spreaker shows. But yeah, it was pretty good when the CD craze was going on because I was making a good amount of money that way.
Now it's all like the niche items like mini disc, what's it called? DCC, the digital compact cassette one, even cassette, and records. But sometimes there's also still like a niche like audience for CDs. Like I am an avid CD collector, even though I haven't gone crazy money and spent like over 100 quid on like the Spitfire CD from the Prodigy. But hey, it's on Spotify.
I tend to collect CDs more for the fact that I can then rip the music off and put it on my phone and to go. If I'm listening for it at the home, I like to just because I've got myself a nice new record player. You ever heard of a Technics SLQ6?
Yes, I heard about Technics. They are like the dog's bollocks of audio.
Yeah, so this is one of the best models from the 90s. It's basically capable of playing a vinyl record like it's a CD. So you've got track selects, repeat, skip. You've got a bunch of different capabilities on it, and it's really cool. So yeah,
I remember seeing a video about it from TechMoon. Is that where you heard it from?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went for that specific model. It's just it really fit my needs for at the home listening.
Yeah, TechMoon is the reason why I collect mini discs now. Like I got a mini disc player. I would put like my own music on it along with some like Prodigy like albums I ripped from the CDs, and then I just throw them on there. And I like using my mini disc mainly because mini disc they were like everywhere back in the 2000s here in the UK, so they're like readily available here. Yeah.
Now, is the sound quality pretty good on mini discs?
The best way I could say it's CD quality. It's quite nice.
Pretty much, it's another digital medium, so you can definitely do some good quality with it, as long as you know what you're doing.
I'm not as familiar with mini discs because I've never used or had any mini discs. So,
like my one I actually got a good offer out of it. I actually got everything, including the box and the charger cradle and all that. But I would not recommend to use the charger cradle from like the actual Sony thingy because they are known to like crumble apart when you use them. So yeah. Don't use the Sony ones. They are terrible. Just get like an external one. Just use it as that.
I say, to be fair, most of them are probably 20, 30 years old now and starting to feel their age.
Yeah,
you want age? 8 tracks. I hope those never come back.
Oh God, yeah, those things. Man, those things are such a pain when the sponge starts to go, and you've got to take the thing apart, replace it with a new piece of sponge.
Yeah,
like that.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way it cuts out in the middle of the song while it's changing the track. You start getting into the groove and all of a sudden, dead space. And that comes back to the song. That drove me crazy.
It's the same thing with cassettes, really. People, like, I do like the compact cassette. Like, it's quite a cool product for its time, but I didn't see it being, like, used. But then again, it does have its benefits, like, it makes people listen to the whole album instead of like, oh, I want to listen to this track, and then they just press a few buttons and all that. I prefer to listen to the whole album than just to listen tidbits of it. That's why I like when I got like my Cassette Boy discography, which is Cassette Boy is like cut and paste comedy people, which like they make like comedy from like cutting and pasting stuff. I just sat there just listening to it and I was just in a maze. I was like, this is some great stuff right here.
Yeah.
I think comedy should be continuous. Music, on the other hand, is subjective. And there may be tracks that somebody doesn't really like and they want to skip over them.
Oh, that just reminds, what's it called? With Disturbs. Like, everyone skips the ending of the Disturbs Down with the Sickness, because, well, let's be honest, no one wants to listen to that ending.
I never heard that album.
You know, get down with the sickness, come on. You know, it starts with, oh, wow!
Nah, I never heard of it. I'm more of a techno head.
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that.
Me either.
I'm surprised, considering it was pretty damn popular back in the 2000s. But yeah, my point is, yeah, there's definitely good reasons for wanting to be able to skip things.
Yeah, as far as how I listen to music, I've listened to stuff on the just through YouTube and things like that. But I say things like that mainly just YouTube. I actually don't use Spotify personally.
Okay.
But as far as like actual physical devices that I use, I actually do have multiple MP3 players that I do listen to music on. Still, that's mainly how, if I'm not just sitting at a computer, if I'm out and about or up and about and doing things or whatnot, that's what I'm using. It's also a lot of the way I also listen to podcasts as well.
Yeah. I would like to talk about like how I actually could we like I got a good topic we can go on, and what about like inspiration of like music and stuff, like how like music starts like to write in your brain and all that. So I got some interesting stories and like how some of like the tracks from the album I'm gonna release soon is actually which I'm gonna release soon hopefully. It's quite cool actually. So would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Please.
Yeah, there's this one track which I wrote called 0891, which you can kind of see like on my custom status. It got like this phone number where it says 0891 50 50 50. It started off with like one of my mates in like in like a group. They said you better sample this song or I was not buying your effing album. And I was like, charming. And I listened to the song and was like, yeah, I should sample this. And I sampled it, and it actually came out great. I would say it's like one of the highlights for the Smash album. So yeah, it's quite a good track. Another one which I would say is the track Home, which is the one which is like the one which ended up getting me slapped on the wrist by the record company. I had like the Gotta Go Home song like stuck in my head. And I had like this like breakbeat like sound in my head, like, oh, this could work. And then I didn't have like my tablet at the time. It was like back at home while I was like holiday. And then when I went back home, the first thing I did, I went on my tablet and I got the vocals of Gotta Go Home, and I got like this breakbeat on it, and I put it together, and it just built on then, and it's like the greatest. It's like one of the greatest tracks I ever write, but hopefully I can easily like release it or something.
That is so fun when you can find things to put together like that to make something completely different. For
Yeah.
Christmas, I bought myself the Magix Music Maker, and they've got the pre-recorded loops in there.
Oh,
And I bought
I've got that.
and I bought the Arctic Dubstep, and I was playing with that, and I came up with a few songs. Now, the problem with Magix, if you're using their pre-recorded loops, is the copyright. If you're going to make money off of it, you can't do that. Since I'm not
Yeah.
monetized, I went ahead and just put together some stuff, and sounds a little 80s. Some of it sounds earlier 80s, and some of it's dubstep. And I just had a lot of fun putting that together. It was easy rather than having to put each note into each thing on your your workstation. You know, it
Yeah, that's
was
why. Oh, sorry, I'll let you speak.
or patterning every single drum beat. You know, it was easy. You just pick something you like, put it on there. Pick something else you like, put it with it. Tweak the, what key you want it in, what chords you want it in. Set your tempo and go, and you got a song in less than a half an hour.
Yeah, that's how like most of my songs start. I'll be like listening to like the sample packs I got, which is the ones which are mainly made by Alternate, Daniel Billy Bunter, and I think what's it called? The other person, all I just know is made by Daniel Billy Bunter, and there was another one which is made by Alternate, and I also got like the famous ones, which is like what every like 90s musician used, which had like these cool stabs and all that. I use that as well, but it always starts off with me like listening to like drum beats, and then it just comes into like a tune and stuff. Sometimes I'll be like playing something like, remember there's like this one track which I wrote called Spring. That's going to be on the album After Smash, I hopefully. And I just played on the Spring, which is like next to my microphone. So I put my microphone next to it and I just strummed it, and it actually came out a proper like good down tempo track. I like it.
I have a microKORG and it has the vocoder on it. And one day I sat down and just put a bunch of stuff together that I wrote off the microKORG and then used the vocoder on it. It sounds like an AI. That particular song is called AIET Rave, because it talks about, getting the AI to party and to dance. And at the end, then I put a spaceship sound effect in there that I made and inviting the extraterrestrials too. And it was kind of a representation of what Awesome Insanity Surfers comedy was, because in addition to Dawson and I doing our different characters and our different voices, I also used text to speech as actual characters on the show, just like they were people. And then we also had an ET on there that I did the voice for, that you couldn't understand what he said, but the one character could translate for him. And I sent that AIET rave video to Dawson, and he said, "This is it. This absolutely represents what we are."
Yeah, I like when like an idea randomly pops up. I remember like I still got my synth. I got like the Behringer 101 like replica thingy, and I would like pick pictures of like presets I like, and I would like play around with it, and I would see if I can like transfer like convert it into like a Poison 202 patch. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it sounds like I'm playing with a bee's nest.
Oh no.
Yeah. And the other one which I got is a synthesizer. Well, it's not really a synthesizer, it's like the 3A3 replica from Behringer. I got quite a lot of Behringer stuff, so yeah.
I have
And
one of each of the major three keyboards. I've got Korg,
yeah,
I've got Moog, and I've got Roland. So I'm happy with those. They do what I need them to.
there's one like Roland thing I would love, like 100%. It's the W30 from Roland because it's the keyboard Liam Howlett used. It's like because it's the freaking it's like the freaking keyboard which helped to write the song Charlie, basically, and basically made the front face of the 90s music and all that.
I take that back. There's one more I wouldn't mind getting, but it's the most expensive of the group, and that's Oberheim. I fell in
Yeah.
love with the Oberheim sound in the 80s.
I know like Behringer's trying to do like a clone of that, but I don't know when they're gonna release it.
Hmm.
I
I'll keep
like
my eye
Behringer
peeled.
clones. Yeah, I like Behringer clones. They're really good. My favorite, yeah, my favorite one is their 3A3 replica, and there's one which I want to get my hands on, and it's their like 909 replica because getting a 909 is basically asking for your house mortgage.
Oh, it sounds like
Basically, it's
Oberheim in the
expensive.
80s.
Quality ain't cheap.
Nope.
That's something people forget, especially in the day of modern
I,
Chinese plasticky garbage.
yeah. Then again, Behringer is Chinese, cheap Chinese rubbish. But then again, it's good cheap Chinese rubbish. That's the reason why I like it, because you pay like 245 quid for it, and if it breaks, you're like, oh well. At least I haven't paid like a grand for something which broke from me.
I think the weirdest keyboard I ever had was the Korg MS-20 because it ran completely on patch cords. You had to know where to put those cords into what holes to get what sound.
Yeah. I know the Korg MS-20 was used quite a lot for Never Outgunned from the Prodigy. I want one of them synths. And also the synth was also used for Flat Beat, I think, from Mr. Owazo. You know, the simple like womp 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 womp, that bit.
Yeah.
It's quite cool about the MS-20 being known as like the most like being used as the most simple thing. And also it's being used for Daft Punk, I think, from what I heard.
Oh,
The
wow.
funk.
I love Daft Punk.
Yeah, I think it was used for the track The Funk.
Oh,
Yeah. I would love to get an MS-20 one day, but trying to get an MS-20 Mini, that's like 500 quid. I don't want to spend that much on a synth.
no.
Yeah. One of my favorite synth YouTubers, I would also say, is the Audio Pills, who like makes these videos called Bad Gear, where he like reviews like these like bad gear stuff. It's quite interesting. He even like reviewed like the MC3A3, which is like a groove box, and all it just sounded like was just either 90s hardcore music or techno music. It's just it's like a techno groove box because it was mainly made in mind for DJs and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those. I thought they
Yeah.
looked interesting. Be something just to have around for the fun of it.
I had a 307 for like for like 2 months, but the problem is I couldn't fix it because getting the parts for it is freaking expensive.
Mm.
It'd be like you got to find like a bit of plastic, and then it was like nearly like 60 quid to get it, and I'm like, it just cost us just as much as the faulty product, so I didn't see what was the point of it, so I just sold it on eBay for like 75 quid instead.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I was having some issues with getting this SLQ6 because the post office liked to smash the dang things.
Mm.
Don't get started with freaking delivery companies. Hermes is the worst one, I would say.
Yeah.
It will probably make your post office look like they're freaking carrying it and giving it to freaking gold.
Well, it wasn't. I think it was FedEx who delivered it. Either way, they smashed both of them. But luckily, they were damaged in such a way I could get them Frankenstein together into one very
Yeah.
nice machine.
Basically, for FedEx in the US is basically your equivalent to Hermes here in the UK,
Yep.
I would say.
Yeah. Either way, a lot of them are not very good.
Like, then again, the only one which I haven't had problems with is DPD. They literally come to your door like at the freaking day of the stroke of day. Like you see like a bit of sun, they're freaking right at your door with an iPad saying say cheese, and then just take a picture of your parcel.
Um.
So you have a picture of your parcel with your freaking front door of your freaking legs and feet. Just say yeah, it's being delivered. Or you just like freaking half awake. Yeah.
But yeah, so either way, we should probably try to get. So what other aspects of music and content creation do y'all want to discuss?
Well, I think a point that I'm not. I think we've alluded to, but maybe haven't specifically, just is the types of music that the specific types of music that Linda and SKS produce.
I can throw in some tracks you would if you want, but I don't know if it would probably hit the content ID match.
I'm probably not gonna play any on the stream,
Yeah.
but
I could probably throw in some tracks I haven't released yet. Let me look on my Dropbox. Everything's on Dropbox for me at this point. My life is on there. Yeah. The Smash. I could throw in an unreleased Smash track if I want to, because I know no one will probably listen to it.
Well, that name's going to annoy me just because you know the Offspring album Smash.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one track on that one I really hate the song Smash because it just ends in like 5 minutes of silence, and it's really annoying for playlists and just listening to music. It's like, oh hey,
Yeah.
why is my music stopped playing for like 5 minutes? Oh, it's Smash today.
It reminds me of 433, which is actually a track of silence except for room ambience. That's all it's meant to be.
Yeah, this one just
I
had
remember,
nothing at all.
I remember there was like this track from Scooter. Where it was like the silence of the Technics Mark II, and it was just like just static playing for like 2 minutes, and it just goes freaking crazy in like the last 10 seconds.
Tuh.
It's quite interesting that. I'll send over a track which I might release or might not. I don't know. For God's sake, let me share it. Copy link. There we
Ooh.
go. I put it on the. Should I put it on podcast chat or documentation? What do you call it?
Either or. Just put it on the podcast chat.
Okey-dokey.
Valentine says in the chat, my Third Eye Blind disc did that too with the Blue album, but it was for 20 minutes instead.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I get what you're going for, but you're just being pretentious about it now. That's also
As
Yeah,
for my
yeah.
as for my music styles, they're all over the place. I do a lot of 80s kind of new wave stuff and 90s kind of stuff. And I do a lot of ethnic stuff, actually, and probably not considered politically correct anymore, but I've done like Latino. Mariachi Modem is a Latino song. And I've done some reggae. I've got one's called Reboot Reggae. And I've done even classical. I've got waltz music. It's just a variety of things. Techno, electronic stuff. More of my newer stuff is more in the electronics type range. AIET rave is like, dance floor music, basically. But yeah, it's a variety. In fact, I think I've even got one that sounds like it comes out of an Old West movie called End File. So mine is just all over the place. There's a lot of ambient, spooky type things that I do. In fact, I posted one here for Doc's project a while back. It's called Insane Asylum. And it's got some interesting backwards kinds of effects in there. Just a variety of things I do.
Honestly,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
so I was gonna say, honestly, the way I look at it, awesome is culture's meant to be shared and enjoyed by everyone. It's like just
I
because,
know.
but you talk about it might not be politically correct, but people just like take things too serious. Like culture's supposed to be shared and enjoyed, not hoarded to one little corner of the world.
I agree, but they're taking away Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzales. I mean,
Yeah, because
I
which
wouldn't
is
be surprised people will freaking go mad because barbecue sauce got tomato in it.
yeah, because that's funny considering
It's
I've
not barbecue sauce, it's tomato ketchup with dye on it. Yeah,
actually a lot of people. No, I'm not going to go into the specifics of that because that's going to be
Okay.
way off topic. But
yeah.
uh,
I might go back. I might go and try and say about like my music and stuff. Is that okay?
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. It starts off with the Raversland era, which goes from 2015 to 27. No, not 20. Yeah, 2017. Really. Well, it's all like 3A3s with a 909, and it just sounds like noise basically. Basically, the best song you can get out of it is it's like some hobo smashing a tin can of beans, or screaming that he just bought like a 4-pack of them in Tesco's or something.
Is that experimental genre?
It's kind of like experimental, but once you hear the music, you're like, nah, I don't want to listen to it anymore. Because once you heard one song, it's exactly the same as the rest of them. It's like watching Little Britain. Yeah. Then you got the Dark Assault era, which is just every song is just too long, except for one good track, which is Underground Alleyway. Good track, by the way.
Um,
Um, yeah, all the tracks on there are just as long as I don't know,
you know,
having a bath.
as I say, relating it back to video game music, honestly, my more experimental. I prefer more stuff like industrial, like
Yeah.
like have you ever played Silent Hill?
I've never played Silent Hill, no, but I heard about like the only thing about like Silent Hill 1 is about the fog, and I always reference it like when I'm in like areas when it's just fog, and it's like, oh my God, we're in Silent Hill again.
Yeah, yeah, me
Uh,
too. Where occasionally where I'm at, it'll get foggy, and I'll look
Yeah.
outside or be outside in the fog, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where the inspiration for Silent Hill came from. Someone was out in the fog at some point, was like, I could make a game. We could make a game out of this.
Actually,
Yeah,
no,
actually,
that's
the
because
inspirations, because Centralia, Pennsylvania. Basically, the town is abandoned, but it's been on fire for like 40 years. There's a coal fire under the town, and which there's cracks going all throughout the town, which is releasing smoke all up into the whole town. That's where the
basically,
inspiration for it.
well, isn't that the storyline for the movies? Because I don't remember anything like that in the games.
No, like that was just part of the inspiration. Is the for the behind the fog system.
thing
Oh,
playing-
right.
Well,
Yeah, the only thing which is playing in my head right now, because all you heard is like fire under the ground, is the Prodigy track rolls on fire, and we just got it freaking like Maxim shout, "It's on fire!" in my head.
but yeah,
We're gonna
but
get
I don't know
copyright
why.
claims for that.
yeah, what I was talking
Oh,
about
sorry.
is I really like how Silent Hill does its music, at least the first game, because it's an industrial soundtrack. So like it
Yeah.
uses a lot of clanging, banging, and just builds upon each other progressively, intensifies. Like
Yeah.
the alleyway track is really good. Sorry, Ali.
Yeah. I was gonna say the first Silent Hill game is probably the only game in the entire franchise that used the industrial type of soundtrack. I remember it because I don't remember the second or third games having that much industrial soundtrack. I remember it having a more soothing but spooky music, but the first one was very intense.
Oh yeah, I really remember the one that sticks with me the most is that alleyway theme. You know, as the sirens fade in, the fog encroaches, the light dims, and you have to use your lighter, and the music's just intensifying. It's
Music
really
intensifying.
great for setting the atmosphere.
Oh, Addy left.
Oh,
Like
Excuse
I'll send y'all the scene later, so y'all can see what I'm referring to. But it's one of my favorites in games in general.
Yeah,
Sorry, my internet disconnected.
Sorry,
I get that problem sometimes. My area is terrible for internet.
yeah, I was basically just talking about how the alleyway scene's one of my favorites, Ali, because of how it uses light, the soundtrack. You know, the siren slowly fades in and builds up as the lights go out. You know, then you have to pull out your lighter, and I really like the scene and how it uses the soundtrack to complement it.
Yeah, all of the scenes that involve the other world and Silent Hill 1 are pretty much the soundtrack of the scenes are pretty much incredible. I mean, have you heard My Heaven?
Oh yeah, honestly, I think my other favorite song off that one is Not Tomorrow.
Lisa's team, right?
Yeah, we're during that cutscene.
Yeah, that was some pretty sad shit.
Honestly, that is really impressive for a PS1 era game, how good the models look. And the level of
Yeah,
detail on the animation.
yeah. I might go back to what I was talking about. Yeah. After the director's whole thing, like modern slapping me in the face saying this album's terrible. We need to have more originality. I moved on to writing the third album, which is the Smash album. And that is going very smoothly. All we just need to wait for is the mastering. And all I'm gonna say that is it's quite a good album. And it only has like oh god.
God damn it, Ali.
For
Thank you, Ali.
context, in the Discord chat, Ali posted a rather humorous meme.
It's going on the stream.
I got Mark Sabine eating the marmalade.
I also posted something on the podcast chat, and it kind of goes along with today being St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
It's actually from 1987 when I was with Critical Fold. Jim Carroll, John Bantner, and I. John Bantner, rest in peace. But we did sort of a, I don't know, you could call it a Celtic type song together. It was just something we jammed and we ended up recording it. So that's in there if you guys want to hear it.
Okay, I'll listen to it later on. Yeah, the Smash album, I cannot wait to release. It's been in the making since 2019, and some of the tracks on there I used for my GCSE music course, which like there's this track I wrote called Faultless Mindset. It's supposed to have vocals on it, but I don't want to release the version with my vocals on it because I sound like when I sing I sound like a freaking ketchup bottle being like pushed. Yeah.
When I
I'm
used to
not a good
sing,
singer. I am a terrible singer, like terrible.
when
I'll
I
probably
used to
get-
sing, my husband would say, "Oh no, is the dinosaur stuck in the tar pit again?"
Oh God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I basically released the track instrumental, which is really sad, really, because it's literally a story of a raver going in the park, like the rave called Helter Skelter, and the police breaks in and all that, and then he ends up getting like he drives his car and then he ends up crashing into a tree, and then he wakes up in the hospital, and he ends up dying. It's It's quite a dark song, but it's in the most joyful like thing. Really joyful. It's quite funny though. Then again, the original idea was that instead of the person dying, is that he grabbed like a blunt and he smoked it. But we made it a bit more darker and had the person dying instead. Yeah. I like how everyone's
Ice
Well,
just
with
said
that
he's
being
just
the
died.
case, with
Yeah.
that being the case, is there really much more to say at this point?
um Tesco. Randomly said Tesco because why not?
I mean,
Well, Albertsons.
I know me and Ali could still talk about, say, some of our favorite uses of music in games, and just we could talk about some of my favorite examples of music.
We can always change the topic to the Oakwood community.
Oh God, I don't think we need to crap on them for a third time in a month.
More money though.
Well, I do get ad revenue from Twitch.
Yeah, we need to milk the extra quid from Twitch.
You will
We need to
never
get-
sell out to corporate sponsors. Your corporate sponsor being your hatred of Idley.
We need to milk off Jeff Bezos' sweat.
Oh no.
Bit
The Awesome
more.
Exiles Podcast, sponsored by the We Hate Vidley Foundation.
We hate Whitley. I can imagine like it'd be like a 4-time song and it just got like some freaking like man just going, "We hate Whitley."
A subsidiary of
hate
Two for
Vidley.
Sports Evil Incorporated.
I have a Marmite relationship with Whitley.
Love the
We
site,
hate
hate the
Vidley
community.
Association in association with the resolution sucks.
Yeah, I love Vidley because of like how underground it is, and like someone would at least watch your content. But I hate it because, well, it's just
Vidley slogan, at least we're not Bitview.
BitView is just you don't want to join their Discord.
It's all the worst aspects of Vidley, but brought to you in a much worse viewing resolution and just overall quality.
Yeah.
Well, so far, I found when I returned to BitView, I've got people that are going, "Oh, why was that featured on one of my featured videos in the comments?"
Because it's
It's
actual
because-
content.
Yeah.
And again, the only thing which I've seen on BitView, which is actually quite funny, is Scooby Weekends.
Oh man, awesome. Iceman just said dinosaur in a tar pit. Oh my god, I just seriously died. And then Valentine's like, my insult vocabulary has been expanded now.
I'll find the Scooby Weekends video. It's the most insane video. BitView. It's on BitView.
So
It's-
SKS called that you could immediately change the topic.
Yeah.
He
We-
called
we
a
just
shot,
gonna-
and that was a home run.
I think we just need to say music and outfit community on the tagline now.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could discuss. Said you've had some success on alternative video sites with your music, have you not?
Yeah, absolutely. My music, I actually randomly joined Vidley because I had like one of my mates on the on Nobelium saying, "Oh, we knew is dead. Join Vidley," and I was like, well, "What's Vidley?" And I went onto it. I uploaded Smashing a DJ deck at I think July 2017. And I forgot all about Vidley until like the fuckers made a video about it. I was like, oh yeah, Vidley. And then I just uploaded more on Vidley, and I got more and more. And I remember making I think the thing which boosted me was like my shit posts. But then again, I do put more thought into my shit posts than people who like take a picture of like, I don't know, a battery and just put some freaking random music on it. It's like the one which is the video which is like, I think the best way I could describe it is me throwing a chocolate bar which got nuts in on a piano. That one kind of got me a bit popular on the site. Yeah, and then I uploaded more albums, and then it became to the point like these like when I released the Direct Assault album, it got pushed over by quite a lot of people in the community until like Modern made that video about it, and I just get like the odd person saying your music sucks, and I'm like, yeah, take it or leave it. It's what you like. You probably listen to, I don't know, someone smashing a glass in 720p.
Oh, that reminds
Yeah.
me. Speak of music and alternative sites, awesome. You remember you, me, and Doc's little collaborations we did?
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone knows at this point who was behind that channel.
Yeah, should we just go ahead
You
and
just
say it?
announced it now.
As I say, SKS, you remember the Bender channel on Vidley?
Bender channel. Oh, this is gonna take. Oh,
Basically, we just made a few videos on there dogging on some of the site, but we basically
Yeah.
made a couple songs. I remember Doc made a AMV with that song talk about Pinochet start up the rotors.
Yeah, I remember going on like, I remember when I uploaded like I remember. All right, I remember when I uploaded like my first song, I was like, yeah, I think I'll probably be in this like site for like 2 days. And it's 4 years later, I'm still here for some reason, moderating freaking Blair and Trackle, and even the Vidly Discord.
Oh man, they got so riled up with that.
Yeah, oh god, don't get me started.
Well,
Just actually doing the moderation work.
I think we've just hit an hour and a half, so
We could still milk more of the Jeff Bezos sweat.
I think it's about a good time to wrap up.
Okie dokie.
So we've been going for a while, and honestly, we keep getting off topic now.
It, we can say that we've gone off tangent, but yeah, I like going off tangent. It's my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. So y'all want to do our little outros?
Yes.
What
Sure.
we like plug in our stuff.
Yeah. So as said, this has
Okay,
been
I'll
cool.
plug in something. 1 second. Look, I'm gonna unplug it right now.
Shit.
Oh, for God's sake, I didn't even got it properly. Yeah, all right.
I
I'm
said
gonna
I'd
plug it
try
in.
and end before the stream ended. Instead, I joined right as the stream was ending.
Yep. About time, Doc.
Great timing.
I
What did I miss besides everything?
Well,
everything.
near the end, we started talking about Fiddly again, but this time in the reference to music.
Oh,
And
music
Bender.
on Fiddly.
I tried to do the joke of me actually like plugging in something and turning on the switch, but Discord wouldn't have anything with it. Yeah. So that joke was poorly executed.
Well, I guess
How about
since he
plugging
just
in
appeared, I guess Doc should be the first one to sign off.
Yes. Take it away, Mr. Doctor.
Okay, this has been Doc or Ryan, or this hasn't been because I wasn't here. You can find my work at eclecticforun.me. That's eclecticforun.me.
Linda?
He's going second.
All right, I'm Linda Irwin of Awesome Insanity Surfers. Find me on YouTube and Spreaker under Linda Irwin. And I'm also on Twitter at Insanity Surfers and ContinuumX.
Alright, so this is with Cora. Obviously, you know me from my streams if you're watching us live. The four of you stuck in this mad world. But also
I know four
YouTube,
people.
Core955, and our new project, WeViddy at Core955. Spider?
I am Spider-Fan, the official NFL analyst for Sports Coast to Coast. You can find my work at sportscoasttocoast.proboards.com. As I said earlier in the show, I have the 2021 NFL free agency thread going as we speak, and as the big signings happen, I will be posting my thoughts. In fact, after the stream, I'll probably be posting some on there about the signings that happened this evening. So be sure to check that out. And I will also be starting up on my BitView account again. That would be bitview.net. And I'm Spider-Fan on there.
Alright, SKS?
You can find me everywhere on the Altvid community if you just type SKS 2002. Join Trackle. It's the greatest video sharing site, other than the other greatest video sharing site from Mr. Allison WeViddy, which I really highly recommend, and Benny Blanco big in 2021.
Alright, so Ali
That's it. Okay.
is,
Ali?
is he still
Allison.
alive?
Yes.
This has been Ali, your acid bath princess of the darkness. I'm known as Ali the Zombie 13 on YouTube. I'm currently developing a website called weviddy.net with my co-founder Core. And if you didn't like our podcast, you're a poser and a prep. And if you don't like this video, I'm gonna slit my wrists.
If you don't like this
Oh.
video, I'm coming to I'm coming to your house and eat your Terry's chocolate orange. Yeah. I'm gonna sit in your fridge. I'm gonna put my head in a washing machine and clean myself with fairy.
All right. So this.
Suddenly, I think I missed the DirecTV outros.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Please like the video.
but yeah, so this has been the Awesome Exiles podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see y'all next week. Though not at EST anymore, now EDT. Curse you, Daylight Savings Time! Yeah,
That's
we'll,
good.
we'll see y'all next week. Stay safe and have a good one out there.
Have a good
See ya.
Peace.
And good night, everyone.
Night.